On the screen now, some of you may see it. It's been making the round through social media, but it's an older image. The artist's name is Matt Chinworth, and I can spell that for you at the end, but I'm going to leave that up during the sermon today. The title is Newborn King. So I hope you can see Mary in the background. I hope you can see the animals in the stable. I hope you can see Joseph, and he's holding the newborn king. I hope that you can see Joseph and the newborn baby Jesus. Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent and the final Sunday of Advent. That means Christmas is almost here, but it's not here yet. We've got to keep on waiting for just a little while. Like it says in the song we just read together, I wait for the Lord. My whole being waits, and in his word I put my hope. In today's gospel story, Matthew tells us some of the events leading up to Jesus' birth. Matthew covers the 9 months of Mary's pregnancy in 8 verses. So I think we can all agree Matthew's leaving some stuff out. Matthew might tell us everything we need to know, but he doesn't tell me everything I want to know. And so my sermon today is going to imagine some of those other things that also happened during those 8 verses. You'll hear the gospel story told by someone who was there at that time. It probably did not happen exactly like this, but I believe that what you're about to hear is faithful to the good news that Matthew wants us to hear. So let's listen. It is good to see you all here. It's great to see you here. Thanks for coming. I know most of you. You're hometown folk. I see you every day. Some of you look like out-of-towners, though. I might not have seen some of you since the big celebration when Mary got betrothed to Joseph. That was almost a year ago. And it's been a long, long year. So if I've forgotten some of your names, please forgive me. And if you can't remember my name, no worries. I'm Clopas. Clopas Ben Jacob. I'm brothers with Joseph. Joseph's with his wife right now. You can guess why. I mean, that's why we're all here, right? We're waiting because we've heard that it's finally time for Mary's baby to arrive. We've been waiting for a long time. It might happen today. It might happen later this week. Nobody knows for sure. The only one who knows for sure is God. The rest of us, we have to wait. Like the psalm says, I wait for the Lord. My whole being waits for the Lord. It's not easy to wait. But Joseph is with Mary now. It's been a really long year, and it's been kind of crazy since all that happened a year ago. But since the betrothal, some stuff has happened that wasn't exactly what we've come to expect. But it was a grand celebration. You remember, you were there. And now Joseph is with Mary, and we're all waiting. Things did not happen exactly the way we planned. We know that according to the plan, you're going to follow tradition, right? That exactly a year after the betrothal, Mary was going to move into Joseph's house. But it hasn't exactly happened that way. So you've probably heard some rumors. I'll tell you what I know, and you can decide on your own. But let's start with the question I know is on everybody's mind. The answer is yes. Joseph's house is finally finished. I know because I helped. We finished that house ahead of schedule, and we finished under budget. But finishing the house was about the only thing that's gone according to plan this past year. Again, according to plan, we were going to follow the tradition that Joseph and Mary were going to start living together exactly a year after the betrothal. But that was 3 months ago, and things haven't worked out exactly as we thought. I'll tell you why. 4 months ago, when Joseph and I were still working on the house, one day at our midday break, we sit down together, and Joseph looks like he's got something on his mind. Joseph doesn't talk a lot. He's not like that other Joseph, our very famous great uncle, the one with the fancy coat. That Joseph, he's a talker. You know the stories. But my brother Joseph, he's kind of quiet. So when we got together today on our midday break, he looked like he had something on his mind, but he might not come out with it because he's a quiet guy. So we sit down in the shade, we start eating our lunch, and I wait. All of a sudden, Joseph says, I think Mary's pregnant. And I got to tell you, I wasn't surprised. I mean, Mary's here. We see her almost every day. We've been seeing the changes over the months. I think everybody suspected Mary was pregnant. And then Joseph says, Clopas, I'm not the father. Now that did surprise me. I mean, I heard the same gossip you've heard, and I guess I was expecting Joseph to confess, well, you know. But he doesn't. Joseph says, I don't know what I should do. I've been thinking and thinking, Clopas, what should I do? And I think for a while, this is serious. I said, well, no matter what you do, if you stay with Mary, people are going to think either you're the father or someone else is. And if it's someone else, they're going to wonder, why didn't you seek justice under the law? Joseph says, I know. That's what I've been thinking about, but I can't stand the idea of putting Mary to shame. I don't know what I'll do. He thought a little bit further, and then he just sat with me for a while. And then he said, I think I need to think about this some more. I said, okay, take the rest of the day. But the rest of the day I didn't see Joseph. He seemed very busy. So at the end of the day, we didn't talk, and I went back to my house. He stayed in the house that was under construction. The next day when I got there, he didn't even say hello to me. Now Joseph worked right through the break time. But at the end of the day, Joseph found me, and he says to me, I have decided. I've decided I'm going to divorce Mary. I can't stand the idea of putting her to disgrace publicly, so I'm going to divorce her quietly. I started to speak, but Joseph held up his hand. No, Clopas, no, not now. I just can't. We'll talk tomorrow, okay? And Joseph turns and goes back into his almost finished house, a house that I guess now wasn't going to be a home. I had a lot of trouble getting to sleep that night. It just seemed, everything about this just seemed wrong. But sure enough, I fell asleep. And next thing you know, it's morning, and Joseph is standing over me. He says, Clopas, get up. We've got to get busy and finish the house. I'm like, what are you talking about? But I got up. I got moving. And as we hurry to the house, Joseph tells me what I'm about to tell you. Something I've never told anybody. Joseph says, an angel of the Lord appeared to him that night. And he told him that Mary is going to have a son. And Joseph is to call him Jesus. The angel said to call him by that name because he will save his people from their sins. And Joseph says, I'm not going to divorce Mary. I'm going to take her into my home, into our home, as soon as possible. And within a few weeks, the house was finished, and Mary moves in with Joseph. That was 3 months ago, way before tradition said they were going to start living together. But, like I said, very little about this past year has gone according to plan. Well, according to our plan. Joseph says this is all part of God's plan. Maybe you don't believe Joseph. Maybe you don't believe me. You might not believe any of this. Maybe it's easier to believe the gospel. Maybe it is. And I can't prove any of this, but I believe. I don't understand any of it, but I believe all of it. I believe that Mary is going to have a baby boy. I believe that Joseph is going to name him Jesus. I believe all of it. I look forward to seeing what's happening. Well, I appreciate you listening. And I'll say it again, I'm glad that you're here today. You're here to get the good news that a baby has been born. And I'm waiting for that good news too. But I'm also waiting for something more now. I'm waiting for the Lord. My whole being is waiting for the Lord. In His word,